All right, the last video for the week, we're going to be talking about the half angle identities. And again, remember, you need to keep in mind we're working with the unit circle on all of these. So pi 12ths is not on the unit circle, so we need to come up with pi 12ths is half of what? Well, let's think about it this way. If we had, say, even a half of a ruler and we had 6 inches right here, well, if we divided each of those 1 inches in half, there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So half of pi 12ths is pi 6. And here's the formula. X, which is, so that would be pi 6 divided by 2 would be pi 12ths. Pi 6 halves is equal to positive or negative the square root of 1 subtract cosine of x. Not of pi 12ths, but of this x right here. And the x is double of whatever this is. So here's another way to think it. If we double this, if we multiply that by 2, that cancels to 1, that cancels, and we've got pi 6. So pi 6 is what that x value is going to be. Well, pi 6 is right here. If you look at the unit circle, our cosine value is root 3 over 2. So when you perform the half angle identity, it's 1 subtract. Well, the cosine value of pi 6 is root 3 over 2, and all of that is over 2. Well, we don't want this ugly mess. First thing we're going to do is simplify the numerator, multiply top and bottom by 2. Well, 1 is just 2 over 2, and we could rewrite all of that. They share the denominator, so we can write 2 minus root 3 over 2 all over 2. I can rewrite that as 2 over 1. So I'm now going to multiply top and bottom by 1/2. Those cancel. So again, we have sine of pi 12ths is equal to positive negative. Well, when we multiply up here, we're going to have 4 in the denominator. We still have 2 subtract root 3. Well, what is the square root of 4? The square root of 4, a 1/2 will come out. So sine of pi halves is equal to positive negative square root of 2 subtract root 3 all over, no longer under the radical, all over 2. All right, and let's see. Here we've got cosine. The only difference between those two is that the half identity for sine, half angle identity for sine, this is the square root plus the positive negative square root of 1 subtract cosine x over 2, and this is 1 plus cosine x. So again, we're going to figure out what x is, we need to double this. When we multiply that by 2, that'll cancel to 4. So 5 pi fourths, well, here's 1 pi fourths, 2 pi fourths, 3 pi fourths, 4 pi fourths. So we are down here at 5 pi fourths, and both the sine and the cosine is negative. Both of them are negative. All right, so we can say, here, I think I put all that stuff down here. So 1 subtract the cosine of 5 pi fourths, which is negative root 2 over 2. So 1 plus negative root 2 over 2 all over 2. Well, we could rewrite this as just 1 subtract. And then again, you're going to rewrite 1 as 2 over 2. We're going to multiply top and bottom by 1 over 2. I think I probably did all of that down here. Did. And those would now share a like denominator. So you have 2 subtract root 2 all over 4, because you multiply top and bottom by 1/2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then the square root of 4, that's going to cancel, and 1/2 is going to come out. So we have cosine of 5 pi eighths is equal to positive or negative. And then think about this, the positive or negative version. Then look at the quadrants that you're dealing with, and then you have to decide, are you going to choose, I should have covered that with the sign, are you going to choose the positive or the negative wherever 5 pi eighths is? That's what tells you whether it's going to be positive or negative. And then we're going to come down here and do tangent. So remember, it's sine over cosine. 1 subtract cosine x, this is positive or negative, square root 1 subtract cosine x over 1 plus cosine x. That's just sine over cosine. And then what they did is they just multiplied top and bottom by the conjugate. And then when they did that, this is what that simplified to. Because anyway, 1 minus cosine squared x, when you multiply top and bottom, you're going to get sine squared x. And then notice the tangent one, it has a restriction. Since we have 1 plus cosine x down here, we have to make sure that we can never have cosine x cannot equal -1. So again, we're going to double this. When we double it, that becomes 3 pi fourths. 3 pi fourths. 1, 2, 3 right here. Tangent is negative right there. Cosine is negative. Sine is positive. And I'm going to choose to use this formula right here. So we have sine of 3 pi fourths over 1 plus cosine of 3 pi fourths. So sine of 3 pi fourths is root 2 over 2 over 1 plus negative, so subtract root 2 over 2. And then you're going to simplify all this. So you're going to multiply top and bottom 1, 2 over 2. Then you're going to simplify that fraction. Let's see if I have that down here. Did that right here. Those cancel. That becomes a distributive. And this is what it simplifies to. You could simplify this a little bit further. So some professors will allow that. Some will make you simplify this a little bit further. And this is what it ultimately simplifies to. So tangent of 3 pi eighths is equal to this, or tangent of 3 pi eighths simplifies all the way down to root 2 plus 1. All right, that is it for trig videos for the week.